Listen carefully, because when a woman starts slipping away, she doesn't leave her home first, she leaves your heart. Her smile still shows up, but her energy doesn't. What's coming next might hurt, but it'll open your eyes forever. Before we dive into the 7 subtle signs she's with another man, hit that like button, subscribe to this channel, and tell me what city you're watching from. Because trust me, this truth feels different depending on where you hear it. Ready? Let's expose the quiet shifts every man senses, but almost none dare to name. Sign 1. The shift in energy. You can feel it before you can explain it. The air between you changes. Conversations that once flowed easily now feel forced, like you're speaking through static. She laughs, but it doesn't reach her eyes. She touches you, but it feels rehearsed, like muscle memory, not emotion. And when you look at her, really look, you can sense her energy has already moved somewhere else. This is the first sign most men ignore, because it isn't dramatic. It's subtle, like a dimmer switch lowering the light in the room 1 degree at a time. You tell yourself she's tired, stressed, distracted. You make excuses because you'd rather believe in her exhaustion than admit the truth that's whispering underneath. She's emotionally feeding someone new. She starts protecting her attention like it's a secret. The phone that used to sit face up on the table now lies face down. Messages that once made her giggle now earn a quick smirk and a turned screen. You notice her staying online late, replying fast to someone, but not to you. When you ask, she shrugs it off. Just work chat. A friend sent something funny, but her tone is clipped, defensive. You're not crazy. You're reading her energy correctly. The truth is, emotional disconnection always starts quietly. It's not the arguments that signal danger. It's the silence. The way she no longer asks about your day. The way she listens without listening. Her presence becomes physical, but her attention is least elsewhere. She's not seeking comfort from you anymore because she's already getting it from someone who feels new, exciting, validating. Psychologically, this shift is called emotional redirection. She's detaching from the familiar to create space for fantasy. And she might not even realize she's doing it. That's why the signs feel confusing. Half affection, half avoidance. Some days she's warm again, laughing at old jokes, reminiscing like nothing's wrong. But that's not reconnection, it's guilt management. You'll feel yourself start to chase her attention, to overcompensate. Don't. That's the trap. The more you pursue her energy, the faster she withdraws it. Because once a woman feels her emotions thrive elsewhere, your presence starts to feel like an interruption, not a home. But here's the part that stings most. Energy doesn't lie, and once it leaves, it rarely returns. And yet, this quiet withdrawal isn't the most dangerous sign, because when she begins changing for someone, not just drifting, the betrayal becomes visible. That's where the next sign begins. Sign 2. The transformation mirror. At first, you think she's just taking better care of herself. New clothes, fresh haircut, a different perfume you've never smelled before. She says she just needed a change, but something about it feels rehearsed. There's intention behind every brushstroke, every outfit, every mirror glance before she leaves the house. You can't quite name it yet, but you can feel it. She's no longer dressing to be comfortable around you. She's dressing to be noticed. When another man enters a woman's emotional orbit, her reflection changes before her words do. The mirror becomes her confidant. She spends longer getting ready, testing lipstick shades, scrolling through outfit ideas, adjusting small details like neckline and earrings. And it's not just about style, it's about response. She's chasing a feeling, the thrill of being seen again. You'll notice the contrast. With you, she's casual, sometimes indifferent, hair in a messy bun, oversized hoodie, no effort needed. But when she's going out with the girls or to that new gym class, it's a different story. Suddenly, there's perfume on her wrists, a sparkle in her eyes, a softness in her tone that hasn't been there in weeks. She checks her reflection twice before leaving. You ask who she's meeting. She shrugs. Just some friends. Yet that answer lands wrong, doesn't it? The truth is, personal transformation rarely happens in isolation. People don't reinvent themselves out of boredom. They do it for connection. When her motivation changes, so does her mirror. That new scent isn't about confidence. It's about curiosity. That wardrobe shift isn't about expression. It's about attraction. She's curating herself for someone's gaze, even if she won't admit whose. Here's the psychology behind it. Women are emotional architects. When their feelings move, their environment, appearance, tone, behavior moves with them. A new man doesn't just capture her heart, he reshapes her identity. Every outfit becomes a signal. Every just for me look is, deep down, for him. And the cruel irony? She'll still insist she's just feeling good lately. You'll want to believe it. But timing never lies. These changes never come when things are good. They arrive right when emotional distance does. Because when her glow returns, it's rarely your reflection lighting it. Still, what you see in the mirror is only the surface. The real shift happens when she starts hiding her world behind a screen, and that's when the digital wall begins to rise. Sign 3. The digital wall. You start noticing it slowly, the small strange habits that didn't used to exist. Her phone, once left on the counter, now follows her everywhere. It's face down during dinner, screen dimmed, notification silenced. She turns her body slightly when she types, just enough so you can't see. And when it buzzes, there's that fleeting flicker of excitement in her eyes. Followed by guilt, she'll say it's nothing. It's just work. It's my friend from yoga. But the tone doesn't match the story. Her replies are quicker than ever, her laughs softer, more secretive. She scrolls late into the night, smiling into that little screen as if it's whispering something only she can hear. You used to be the one who made her laugh like that. Now you're watching her share that energy somewhere else. The digital wall is one of the most modern forms of distance. It's invisible but powerful, like emotional encryption. Behind every locked screen is a private world she's no longer inviting you into. She doesn't have to delete anything. The secrecy itself is the message. When a woman begins protecting her phone more fiercely than her peace, she's not just hiding messages, she's guarding connection. Psychologically, this is called selective transparency. She'll show you just enough to look open, but keep the rest sealed away. The harmless memes, the funny messages, the coworker chats that somehow always happen after hours. And when you bring it up, she flips the frame. Why are you so paranoid? Don't you trust me? That reaction isn't innocence, it's deflection. Guilt often hides behind accusation. Technology has become the new secret diary. Where women once hid letters, now they hide emotional validation in private chats and muted threads. It's not about cheating, it's about control. The phone becomes the fortress where her second life quietly breathes. And the worst part, she'll still share enough with you to make you doubt your instincts. She'll text you good morning, but reply to him with warmth. She'll show you pictures from dinner, but crop the truth out of the frame. You're not imagining the distance. You're just reading it in pixels instead of words. Because every hidden notification is a piece of her you no longer own. But messages aren't the only thing that vanish. Soon, time itself starts disappearing too. And that's when the excuses begin. Sign 4, the disappearing time. It starts with a shift in her schedule so small you barely notice. She's suddenly working late, running errands, or meeting friends more often. The nights you used to spend together now dissolve into vague explanations. You look at the clock. It's 9 p.m., 10 p.m., midnight, no text, no call. Then, when she finally answers, it's a short apology. Sorry, lost track of time. But her tone isn't tired. It's distant, detached. This is the stage where time itself becomes the accomplice. When another man begins entering her world, the hours rearrange to make room for him. Her availability shrinks, her energy splinters. She'll still appear responsible, even busy, but the pattern doesn't lie. Suddenly, her evenings stretch, her weekends fill, and you start realizing you've been scheduled out of her life. She might claim she's just overwhelmed, that she's trying to find balance. But balance isn't what's happening, it's redirection. Psychologically, when someone invests emotionally elsewhere, their subconscious begins redistributing time toward that new connection. It's not about the hours themselves, it's about who she chooses to be present with. Watch for the rhythm, the last-minute plans. The nights she gets home late but seems oddly energized, as if life exists somewhere beyond your four walls. The subtle inconsistencies, the outfit that doesn't match the errand, the makeup that seems too deliberate for just coffee. These aren't coincidences. They're cover stories written in minutes and miles. One of the cruelest parts of emotional infidelity is how normal it looks. She's not sneaking around dark corners. She's simply busy. You can't accuse her without sounding paranoid, and that's what makes this phase so powerful. It hides behind credibility. After all, who questions over time or a friend's birthday dinner? But what you're really losing isn't her honesty. It's her time, her most intimate form of loyalty. And when you ask about it, notice her reaction. She gets defensive, maybe irritated. She'll say, "Why are you keeping tabs on me?" That's not annoyance, it's anxiety, because deep down, she knows time is the one thing she can't explain away. A woman's calendar tells the truth her words never will, but vanishing hours aren't the most painful sign, because soon, she won't just rearrange her time, she'll rewrite you, and that's when her emotions start to turn against you. Sign 5. The emotional reversal. You'll notice it one day. Her patience is gone. The same man she once admired for his calm now irritates her. The jokes that made her laugh now earn an eye roll. She's sharper, colder, and quicker to find fault in things that never bothered her before. And when you ask what's wrong, she sighs like you're the problem. But here's the truth. You're not. You're just standing where her guilt needs somewhere to land. When a woman starts emotionally investing elsewhere, she has to justify it to herself. That's where emotional reversal begins. Her mind can't handle the contradiction of loving one man while entertaining another, so it rewrites the story. You become the villain. Suddenly, everything you do feels wrong. You don't listen enough. You don't understand her. You don't make her feel the way she used to. She builds a psychological case to defend her emotional drift, and you become the evidence. Watch the tone. Her words become surgical, cutting but calm. She's no longer arguing to resolve, she's arguing to detach. Every disagreement becomes a stage for her silent exit. The tenderness fades, replaced by an undercurrent of contempt, small sighs, forced politeness, exaggerated tolerance. It's her way of distancing without admitting what's really happening. There's a cruel kind of psychology here. Guilt seeks balance. The more she crosses emotional lines elsewhere, the more she has to make you the cause. Her irritation is not about you. It's about her needing to believe her disloyalty is justified. That's why every kind gesture you make seems to annoy her even more. Your kindness amplifies her guilt, and her guilt demands your punishment. You might catch her snapping at simple questions, dismissing affection, or using that phrase that sounds harmless but cuts deep. You're overreacting. That's not dismissal, that's projection. Her guilt is overflowing, and the only way to release it is to pour it onto you. But don't chase her peace. The moment you start pleading or explaining, she wins control of the narrative. The truth doesn't live in her words anymore, it lives in her tone. And when her irritation starts sounding like moral superiority, understand this. Her heart is already somewhere else, defending a choice she hasn't confessed yet. But turning you into the villain isn't her final move. The next one is far more dangerous. She starts rewriting reality itself. Sign 6, the narrative flip. It always starts the same way. You ask a simple question, something harmless like, "Who are you with?" Or, "Why didn't you answer?" And suddenly you're the one on trial. Her tone sharpens, her eyes narrow, and she fires back. "Why are you being so controlling?" "You're paranoid. You always overthink everything." And just like that, the conversation flips upside down. This is the narrative flip, a psychological defense that turns your curiosity into accusation. It's not about truth anymore. It's about control. When a woman feels cornered by her own behavior, she doesn't clarify. She reframes. She takes the light you're shining on her actions and redirects it onto you. The goal? To make you doubt your own perception, to make you feel guilty for simply noticing the shift. Psychologists call this emotional inversion, the moment when the guilty party uses accusation as armor. It's a way of maintaining dominance without having to lie outright. She doesn't need to invent a new story. She just rewrites the context. Now you're not a man asking for honesty. You're a man with trust issues. Now she's not distant. She's tired of being interrogated. The conversation becomes a smokescreen of logic, designed to make you question your instincts. And here's the twist. The calmer she sounds, the more dangerous it is. She's mastered emotional control because she's been rehearsing this moment. Her words are measured, her body language relaxed, but her sentences are strategic. She's not trying to solve anything. She's trying to reset the power dynamic. Notice how she uses emotional buzzwords. Boundaries, space, privacy. Words that sound enlightened, but are often just shields. They're meant to silence you, not enlighten you. She'll tell you to trust her while guarding her phone like a vault. She'll say she needs space while giving that space to someone else. It's manipulation disguised as emotional maturity. And here's the hardest part. The more you defend yourself, the deeper you fall into her frame. Because once you start explaining, she's already won. You're now playing defense in a story she's directing. The truth becomes background noise behind her narrative of victimhood. When a woman begins rewriting reality, confrontation won't bring clarity. It'll only feed her script. But if you think her words are dangerous, wait until you see what happens when her emotions go completely still. Because the final sign doesn't speak, it withdraws. Sign 7, the sudden serenity. There comes a moment when the storm ends, but not because it's over. It's because she's already gone. The arguments stop, the explanations stop, even the tension fades. She's calm now, too calm. She smiles politely, agrees easily, and says, "It's fine," to everything. But the peace doesn't feel peaceful, does it? It feels hollow, like someone pressed mute on the connection that once pulsed between you. This is the final stage, the quiet before the exit. When a woman has emotionally detached, serenity replaces chaos. You'll mistake it for healing, but it's actually withdrawal. The woman who once demanded attention, asked questions, challenged your decisions, she's gone quiet not because she's content, but because she's rehearsing her goodbye. She stops reacting because she no longer needs to. You've been removed from her emotional equation. The things that once made her cry or shout now earn nothing but indifference. That's the giveaway. Real love still cares enough to fight. Detachment doesn't argue, it observes. It's the stillness of someone who's already moved on in her mind, but hasn't said the words out loud. You'll feel the shift in small, eerie ways. She doesn't check your messages, doesn't follow up, doesn't ask where you're going. Her tone is soft but empty, her presence polite but distant. She's no longer trying to change you, prove anything, or win the argument. That's because her attention, her emotional investment, is somewhere else now. And once that transfer is complete, there's nothing left to fix. Psychologically, this is called emotional closure before departure. It's when the heart finalizes the decision long before the mouth announces it. The woman you loved is still in front of you, but her soul has already stepped out the door. Here's the cruel paradox. Men often feel relief during the stage. The quiet feels like progress. Finally, no fighting, no drama. But what you're really feeling is absence disguised as calm. You're mistaking detachment for peace. And when you ask if everything's okay, she'll give you that faint, practiced smile and say, "I'm just tired." But she's not tired, she's finished. Because when a woman stops fighting, it's not surrender, it's closure. And yet, even this silence isn't the true ending. See you in the next video.